My name is Evan Cruz, and this is the story of how being underestimated became the greatest advantage I ever had. People think humiliation happens in one big moment, a dramatic public insult, a loud confrontation, a scene that everyone remembers, but my humiliation came in smaller, quieter forms. Like the way my manager, Brent, would ask for volunteers in meetings and then look past me as if I were invisible. The way coworkers would hand me the most boring tasks because, "You're better with simple stuff, right, Evan?" Or the time someone accidentally emailed the wrong group chat and said, "Just let Evan handle the spreadsheets. He won't understand the big picture anyway." It stung, it always stung. But what hurt the most was realizing they all genuinely believed it. I wasn't the loud one. I wasn't the Ivy League graduate with shiny credentials. I wasn't the confident, charismatic guy who could charm a whole room. I was just me, quiet, observant, a little awkward. Someone who didn't look smart in the way they measured intelligence. But what they didn't know was that I had been building something in silence. My story really started 2 years before all this when my mom got sick. It pushed me to work nights, learn everything I could about data, AI, and business automation. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I needed a real future, a stable one. And because when life teaches you to survive, you learn faster than anyone expects. At work, they thought I was slow. At home, I was building systems that could run entire companies. No one knew. Why would they? Quiet people are good at keeping secrets. Then came the day everything changed. It was a Monday morning, and our company Trizol Dynamics was in full panic mode. The system we used to run client accounts crashed overnight. Every file, every schedule, every automation wiped. Millions of dollars in contracts depended on those processes. The office was chaos, phones ringing nonstop, managers yelling at each other, clients threatening to pull out. And somewhere in the middle of it all stood Brent, red-faced and sweating, barking orders like a captain on a sinking ship. I sat at my desk, invisible as usual, until... "Evan," I flinched. No one ever said my name in meetings. "Get in the conference room, now?" When I entered, every manager and department head was there, eyes red, voices frantic, panic everywhere. And there I was, the guy who supposedly wasn't smart enough. Brent looked at me with desperation hidden under forced confidence. "You handle the data logs, right?" he asked, voice tight. "Yes," I replied. "Why? We need you to. He glanced around, embarrassed to say the words. "Figure out what went wrong." The room went silent. Someone scoffed, another whispered, "Him? Seriously?" But they were desperate. So desperate they didn't even realize how insulting their tone was. I took a slow breath, my heart pounded. But inside something shifted, not fear. Not anxiety, clarity, because I knew something they didn't know. I had built a backup system. A smarter, newer, fully automated system that could replace the broken one instantly. I just never told anyone. Not because I wanted to hoard it, not because I wanted to show off, but because no one ever asked. No one ever thought I was capable of anything more than following instructions. So for months, my solution sat quietly in a folder labeled Notes, and now the entire company needed it. "Give me an hour," I said. They blinked. "That's impossible," someone muttered. "We've had experts looking at this since 6 a.m., another added. I simply nodded. "Still, give me an hour." They didn't trust me. They didn't believe me. But they let me try, because they had no other choice. I walked out of the room with 30 pairs of eyes burning into my back. I started running scripts, restoring corrupted code, activating the backup system I had built from scratch. My hands were steady. I didn't feel nervous. I felt ready. Ready in a way I had never felt in my life. The truth was, every insult they threw at me built this moment. Every "you're not smart enough" became fuel. Every dismissal gave me time to work in peace. By the 57-minute mark, the backup system was live. Client accounts restored, automation reconnected, scheduling fixed. The company saved from a multi-million-dollar disaster, all because of the guy they ignored. When I walked back into the conference room, they all stood, not out of respect, out of shock. Brent's voice cracked. What? What did you do? I rebuilt the infrastructure, I said calmly, and uploaded an improved version. Silence. Then whispers. Something like embarrassment, something like guilt, something like respect, though they'd never admit it. The COO walked forward. You rebuilt the entire system on your own? I didn't brag. I didn't boast. I just nodded. Yes, a few months ago. They stared at me as if seeing me for the first time. What happened next felt surreal. I was promoted 3 levels up in less than a week. They offered me a private office, a salary jump, and leadership of a new AI development team. But that wasn't the best part. The best part was the shift, the way people started pausing before dismissing me, the way coworkers asked for my input instead of ignoring me, the way my voice finally held weight in rooms that once muted me. But even then, I kept quiet, not small, not submissive, just quiet. Because I liked being the silent the one who observed everything, the one who didn't need to brag. Quiet doesn't mean weak. Quiet doesn't mean incompetent. Quiet means you choose your battles wisely. And I had won the only battle that ever mattered, the one where I proved to myself that I was enough, more than enough. Months later, the biggest full-circle moment came unexpectedly. Trisol was pitching a multi-million-dollar project to a major client. High stakes, huge pressure. Everyone was nervous. Halfway through the meeting, the lead client looked around the room and asked, "So who's the technical architect behind your new AI system?" All eyes turned to me. Brent cleared his throat, trying to sound proud. "That would be Evan. He's our best." The client smiled at me warmly. "Impressive work. Truly, we've done our research." I nodded politely, though inside something warm spread through my chest, not pride. Relief. Relief that everything I had endured had led here to recognition that wasn't forced or desperate, but earned. When the deal was finalized, someone clapped me on the back and said, "Man, we never knew you had it in you." I smiled. "I always had it in me. You just didn't look." And that's the truth I learned. People will judge your intelligence based on noise, how loud you speak, how confidently you move, how impressive your credentials look on paper. But real intelligence, real capability, it's quiet, persistent, invisible until the moment it becomes undeniable. They said I wasn't smart enough, but the day they needed me the most, I became the person they couldn't live without. And in the end, it wasn't revenge that satisfied me. It was becoming exactly who I always knew I could be.